Hmm.
Mm.
Oh yeah. That's where we dominated Britain and Europe and yeah.
Fucking change the world.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Hey, how we doing, guys? Sorry. Hey, Brendan. How are you? Wow.
America, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Lick my butt and suck
Oh.
on my balls, America.
Whoa. Guy went for it full frontal
Yeah.
here from Brendan Lawson. Welcome back, Good Lies Golf listeners. We've had a brief hiatus. Welcome, Brendan. Welcome, listeners. We're back. We're here for the Ryder Cup. Had to do it. Had to bring it back.
Ride or
Um,
die.
Ride or die. And Brendan's been doing some traveling. He's been golfing in Scotland. Wow, of all places, going to the Traders Territory during the Ryder Cup weeks. But, he's
Hey,
gaining
man.
intel for us. And he came back like a spy. And now he's telling all of the
Yeah.
USA professionals for this weekend all the ins and outs of, the golf course in Rome that has nothing to do with Scotland.
Yeah, just score better than the other team. That's about it, man.
Hey,
That's how you
don't
win.
give away the secret.
That's how you win. No one's listening, dude.
Oh, you're right.
No.
You're right.
Dude, yeah, I was scouting the foreign land, brought it back to the roots of golf, and it was epic. Glad to be back on US soil. Go America, you know.
Go America for this week. Go America, and well, for every week, and really just taking back on a tradition here. Ryder Cup took place back in Worcester, Mass, right there, 1927, and basically United States versus Great Britain. That's really how it happened. And then in I think '79, they opened it up to all of Europe, and then became a U.S. versus the world kind of opposite situation.
That's how we like to do things, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
there US versus the world tournaments in every sport you can imagine,
Yeah.
which is just fucking hilarious.
Because we're the United States of America,
Right,
man. We have
right.
all other nationalities represented within us. So
Yeah.
it's been
No, it's actually funny how well I don't know why I say it's funny. It's not really that funny, but it's
so funny.
interesting how how well the US produces athletes on such a broad scale of sports because I was talking to a guy actually while we were in Scotland. We were sitting down at the home of golf so the golf museum, and
Mm,
we were sitting down at lunch in there, and the guy that was waiting on us, he was like a younger dude, probably in like mid 20s. And it just so happened that he was like a huge NFL fan. Like he was talking about the Miami Dolphins was his favorite team, which is hilarious. It's so random. He told us the story. He just literally like he made a random bet one day, like years and years and years ago, because his friend was a big football fan and
Go
they're
Dolphins!
watching. So yeah, he made a bet on the Dolphins and then he ended up winning money. And just ever since then, he's been a major Dolphins fan. But he was just talking about how like the system there is, there's not as many sports. There's not baseball. There's not American football. There's not tennis. All these different things. It's pretty much rugby, cricket, and what they call football or soccer.
Right.
And then once you get to a good enough level, like you basically have to pay to continue going. It's not where in our system you basically get like pulled up into a certain league or you get a scholarship to a university or something like that. So like
Yeah.
it's just much harder to really make it in sports over there, just because it's so limited.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, we just we have so much
There's a
at
whole
our
market to it.
disposal
There's a
that yeah,
whole it's a
yeah,
whole way of
it's
life for
crazy. It's
us.
crazy. Yeah. So
Americans are
you
sitting in front of their TV
yeah,
on Sundays watching football. There's a
right,
majority of them.
right. US versus the world, and that's why. Um,
Yeah.
but dude, speaking of which, right? So Scotland, you brought it up. Trip of a lifetime. That place was just it was unbelievable. Blew all expectations that I had. Um, for anyone out there that's not just about golf, like it's just a really fucking cool place to go. St. Andrews is a beautiful, it's like sleepy but active. Like people are out doing things, but it's not crazy loud. Although there is a university there, so there's a huge influx of students, but um, just a crazy way of life there, man. Like golf is literally in the blood of those people. We were sitting down on the 17th hole of the old course. There's a restaurant there, really old one called the Jigger Inn. And we were lucky enough to get a table literally outside right on the 17th hole. And if you remember,
Great.
the 17th hole is where
Yeah.
you tee off over the hotel and, the corner of the hotel. Um, but we're sitting down having dinner after we had played King's Barnes. And it's like getting dark and you just see couple after couple like every 10 minutes or so, a guy's got four clubs in his hand. uh his girl is holding a book and they're just walking, and that they literally got out of university class, took a couple clubs and just went out on the old course, or one cat or not castle course but Jubilee new course, one of those in that area. Literally just hit a few balls,
Like
played
it
as
was a
many
local
holes
muni
as,
because it is
yeah,
for them.
they just walk on.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
different way
yeah,
of life.
yeah, yeah. It was crazy, dude. And Sunday, the old course, it's closed. It's just a public park, So you just go out there, you walk around. People are taking pictures. The locals have their dogs out. We threw a tennis ball with one of the locals' dogs for 10 minutes, and you're just like sitting on a fairway of the old course. It's insane, dude.
How did you shoot?
So I actually shot pretty damn well. I was surprised because like you think about this courses and you're like, fuck man, like they're gonna be really, really tough. I'm gonna just get destroyed. I mean, I brought so many fucking balls. I went to
Link
sand.
style's hard.
Yeah, but it turns out, I mean, it works. It's well for my game. It fits me really well. I mean,
Yeah.
I can spray it here and there and there. I mean, you can get into trouble, but you can also get out of trouble fairly easy
Right.
sometimes. Um, and I also have, I hit a lot of stingers with my iron, so I was just, ripping balls that were rolling, 100 yards once they hit the ground. Uh, but I did all right, dude. I found my swing a bit. So we played Castle Course, which is the St. Andrews Links. It's under the St. Andrews Trust umbrella of courses. So we played the Castle Course, um, which was epic. It was awesome. I mean, you're right on the coast, so you can see the ocean from both the front and the back nine. The
Wow.
majority of the holes have some sort of ocean view, but there's other holes that you're elevated, but you're also kind of tucked behind like some rolling dunes and stuff like that. Um, and I played pretty well there. I think I shot like an 87,
That's great.
which I did not think was going to happen because how my round started was I pured an iron, but I pulled it maybe 20 yards left of my line. Went right in, first shot goes right into a fucking hell bunker. like I'm like, oh shit, all right. I'm up against the lip, but I thought I had enough space. If I hit something clean, I'd be able to get it out and actually go after the green. And I felt like I hit the ball so damn well, but it hit that face of that bunker and just ricocheted about 20 yards back behind me into some thick shit and lost the ball right away.
Yeah.
Um,
Fun.
but yeah, man. I mean, the course was unbelievable. Day two, we went to King's Barnes, which was just maybe 15 minutes up the road. Also, a course that plays entirely on the coast. That one, though, you literally had a ocean view on almost every single hole. Reason being, it was a little more true like link style, where it was a little flatter. I mean, there were some elevation changes and a little bit of, rolling hills here and there, but for the most part, there was nothing really, in the way of your vantage point of the
Yeah.
ocean, which was
That's
fucking
incredible. So
awesome.
just views scenic the whole time, like a poster. You just loving
It's
it. And then you were golfing with your dad
unbelievable.
and your brother. So it was like a total
Yeah.
guys trip, bro,
Yeah.
bro dad fam trip. And
Yeah, dude.
the gamer was just out there golfing,
Dude, he was
killing it.
living it up. So he got a caddy every round we played. He had a caddy.
So he felt fancy.
So yeah, you think you fancy,
Yeah, that's
huh?
he must have thought he was real fancy
No,
out there.
he was balling out there. He
Balling.
was enjoying it, dude. Having a caddy out there is really cool, just because. Well, first of all, every caddy he had was a completely different type of Scott. Like the first one he had at Castle Course. I mean, he was the man. He was super funny, really quick talker, had a super thick accent, Scottish accent, but he used to be a pro like way back in the day. But he had some injuries that caused him to become a caddy, and now he's just been a caddy or a coach for pretty much life. They called him coach, and he was just telling us stories about all the different legends that have come through there. And I think he was telling us a story about how in one of the caddy houses that obviously the public doesn't have access to, there's like a big mural of I think he said it was Jack. It may have been Arnie. I don't know. I think it was Jack Nicholas, but it's a big mural of Jack Nicholas and his caddy at the time, and it's from when he had won the Open, and he was just saying how like his caddy wasn't able to make the trip when he actually ended up winning it. It always like had been not a sore spot for him, but like he always wished his caddy was able to be there with him because it was his best friend or whatever. And he walked in with this legend into this caddy house, and the player, he saw this mural of himself for the first time, and they had also added in his caddy into the mural, and he pointed at him, looked at coach, our caddy, and he was basically just like that's him, like, and he said his caddy's name is like that's him, man, like
That's crazy.
he wasn't able to be there, and I guess he broke down right there in coach's arms, and coach was he was like, dude, I'm just like sitting here like this
This is the guy. This
is
is the
yeah,
guy.
yeah. But yeah, dude, he was just like, man, he was super funny, really intelligent about the game, but he was just telling us story after story. Like that's why I'm getting the players mixed up, because it was just like he had so many different like
Very
stories about
animated
different
guy.
people, and he's super animated, that like some of it was hard to follow, but at the same time, like you knew
Well,
he was
especially with a
telling.
thick accent.
Right, right. But you knew he was telling you like something that's
Right.
just like amazing. You know what I mean? So
So you went
it
from
was
there,
pretty cool.
you golfed at you were at, sorry, King's Barn.
Yeah, so we went to King's Barnes. I shot at 85 there, um, which was awesome. Had a couple blow ups on the last couple holes in the front nine, and then same thing happened on the back nine. And then we went to Carnoustie. Um, Funny thing about golf, right? You could have your swing 1 second and not the next day. That's exactly what happened to me at Carnoustie. I got torn up. I'll have to add up my score. I have the scorecard. My assumption is it was well into 100. And it had nothing to do with the fact that I was playing Carnoustie and I couldn't hit the fucking ball.
So you just
Uh,
couldn't hit the ball. And then
yeah.
fourth day, how many
Fourth
days total was it?
so fourth day was our last round. So we played
Got it.
4 rounds in a row. So we played Jubilee, which is um, another one of the St. Andrews courses. But that one is actually, it runs up against, the old course. So you're playing on the same grounds. And uh, I found my swing right away there. And dude, there were moments I thought I was about to play the round of my life in Scotland, and
Wow.
like I was getting fucking amped up and trying to keep my cool. like
Yeah.
uh
What'd you wind up shooting?
so I shot a 38, so 2 over on the front nine.
Wow.
And then I think I lost three balls on the back, three, maybe 4 balls on the back, shot a 46, so I ended up with 84. um
Still on these
so
courses, man, that's
I
incredible. Just
dude,
even
it
being
was
mid
awesome.
80s, low 80s is incredible.
It was Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing feeling. I'd say it was the best round of golf I've ever played, even though it's not the best score I've ever had.
Right. It just the way it felt, the shots you were having.
Yeah, dude.
I know what you mean by that because that's definitely a thing where you feel like you don't have the best score, but just you did everything right. You didn't top it, you didn't shank it. It was just like, okay, you lost control of a couple of them, but you had those pure moments. And the rounds that I like the best are when I have those magic shots where I'm like, how did I do that? And you have a few of those in the round. And those rounds feel magical because you're like,
Yeah,
damn, I can get it out of this bullshit or I can get it out of this shit right here.
right,
This is bad. So I think
right.
that those moments, sometimes those rounds are like the heartwarming, rounds you need to
Yeah.
keep your confidence back.
Yeah, dude, it was especially that front nine. I mean, I thought I was about to put something really special out because I I think I had four bogeys, but I had two birdies. So like, and the bogeys that I had were, I think one was a three putt on a par three.
So you could have done it. You just didn't.
Yeah, I mean the green was it was like one of the hardest greens, so I'll let that one slide. But it was just things like that where like
Right.
I was still hitting some good shots, but there were just like I had I left a putt short, and
Now,
shit like that.
did you
So
guys like go to like the little pubs after that are attached to the clubs and like do the whole drinking thing and
yeah,
like eat? How was the food? How was the beer? Was it like a whole experience? Because you don't really drink like that. So was it? Did you open up a little bit like that? And
yeah, yeah, I was trying, you got to try stuff when you're out there. I didn't dip into like the beers so much. It wasn't my brother and my dad were getting all into like the Guinness.
just drinking
They
scotch.
they've
Brandon
had
was
it
just
before,
straight
but yeah,
scotching.
I was hitting the different whiskeys. And dude, the Scott people, probably the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Every fucking one of them. It was insane.
They're just like
Like,
Ohioans, but
yeah,
for Scotland.
yeah, I could probably tell you countless just random stories of random people like doing nice things. But like, yeah, I remember hitting up one of the local bars, um, 50 feet away from the old course. And we went down into this place. We're just watching some rugby, having a little appetizer because we were about to go to a restaurant. And we were asking about some of the different whiskeys, like, hey, what would you recommend? Are any of these local, blah, blah, blah. And like the dude just ends up talking to us about the spectrum of whiskeys, how it's like processed and distilled, and he talks about what peat is and how it comes from the earth, and that's what
You're like, this is Douglas
creates that
Malafalogan. He's the guy that
yeah.
invented this whiskey. You're
Yeah,
talking to him right here. It's
right,
this guy.
right. It's actually me. Uh, but yeah, dude, it was insane. Kings Barnes, so the town of Kings Barnes actually has a distillery too. So like we hit that up at like 9 a.m.
Of course, a golf club would have a distillery. Genius.
Yeah, I
Genius.
mean it wasn't part of the golf club, but it was
Yeah,
within
but
a half
yeah,
mile of
exactly.
it,
They know
and
what they're
it's in
doing.
the town, and it's also called Kings
They know
Barnes.
who's
But
going there.
yeah, we hit that at like 9 a.m. Got a flight, tasted some different ones, and then went and played Kings Barnes. We did the whiskey tour in Edinburgh. So we did Edinburgh after we hit St. Andrews. So we did the whiskey tour there, which was awesome. We actually ended up finding they have the world's largest collection of unopened whiskeys. So they obviously have a shit ton of different whiskey as well that you can purchase. And one that we just spotted like up in the midst of hundreds of bottles, William Lawson's whiskey. So we asked them to test it out, and sure, obviously it's from Scotland as well. It's distilled there, but dude, it's actually one of the smoothest things I've ever drank in my life, which is funny because they didn't even know what it was. So,
It
they're
was
just
just
like, oh
like
yeah, it's just up
some
here.
whatever
Yeah,
from some
yeah.
lowland country shit, and there
Right.
you go. It wound up being
Uh,
delicious.
but yeah, dude, it was an epic trip for sure. And the thing that was great about it, obviously, was I walked away with that final round feeling like I really did find something in my swing, and
Yeah.
I've been swinging out here on my mat since I got back. I haven't actually played around since, but my swing feels really good. Whether I can hit a ball, I don't know. I haven't done it, but
Yeah.
it feels really fucking good.
Yeah.
So
And hey, I visited your house while you were gone.
you did. I
I
wasn't even
stopped
here.
by. So and Brendan has himself a nice new house here, guys. It looks like the Home Alone house, you know. It's got like it looks like it's like all nice brick on the outside. It's got like colonial beams on the outside. It's in a cute little neighborhood that like all the houses are like nice brick and like beamy and just like colonial style. Very cool. Definitely different than the other neighborhood you lived in.
It's a bigger apartment now. So
It's a bigger,
yeah.
and I made that reference a few times to your wife and
Oh
when we
yeah.
were in there.
Yeah. No,
My
I'm
dumb
glad
ass called
glad you
their
were
house
able
an
to stop
apartment a
by.
few times last time. So that's the running joke we have now is that I just call all of Brendan's houses that he has apartments. So
Dude, I honestly, you probably do. I know Elizabeth does. I don't remember the exact story. Yeah, you were just like, wow, this is a really nice apartment.
it's
And
a three
but you
bedroom,
meant
two bath house,
it. Yeah.
2.5 bath, I think,
Thanks,
like
man.
an
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
full house, and I'm calling it an
Yeah.
apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the New Yorker in me.
I'm a fucking loser. I get it. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, hey.
I
Ohio,
got my
Ohio,
family living
Ohio,
in a
Ohio.
fucking shanty.
No. He doesn't live in a van down by the river. But amazing trip. I'm really jealous that you got to go to Scotland and do all this golf. I'm just lucky. I want to do a little like trip like how we used to do it where I would come out and visit in the fall or the spring and we would do a little,
And
golf
why
Cincy.
not, dude?
Yeah, we will do that. I need some new tires though. After driving to Kentucky this past weekend, I definitely need some new tires. They're a little beat. I even have a nail in the back of one of them that's just holding the tire air right now. It's
No,
been holding
I
it.
put it in. I put that in.
No, dude, I drove it all the way from Kentucky to here, back to New York, 14 hours with a nail in the tire because the nail is perfectly holding the air in the tire. So
No,
I'm not gonna jinx it.
see, there was a hole and the air was coming out. So I put that nail in
Yeah, and then
there.
I hammered it in there and
Yeah,
now it's stuck. No, the guy
it
said I
keeps
got
the
it, but
air in it.
I
Yeah.
don't want to go get it plugged because I need new tires anyway right now. So I'm like, why am I going to spend $30 on a new plug in my tire when I could just go buy three new tires because I need them anyway because my truck is shot. So that's my story. Um,
Fair. All
anyway,
right.
transitioning here
Speaking
to
of transitioning,
speaking of transitioning,
you have an announcement,
let
right?
me sneeze. Yeah, I have an announcement. I will turn Italian for this announcement. Ciao. Welcome to the Marco Simone Golf and Country Club for the Ryder Cup 2023. Brendan, welcome to the Ryder Cup. That was my
Ciao,
best.
Roberto.
It's your daddy, Roberto.
We could be like
Um,
Tiger Woods and his daddy.
we have the Ryder Cup, guys. We alluded to it in the beginning, but this is a really exciting time. This is when America gets all juiced up. Everybody gets all amped up. It's like the waste management, but like across the world.
It's time to pop your cherry. I feel
Yeah.
like right now is a perfect time for an advertisement. Why? Because I was opening this. What am I going to do next? I'm going to drink it.
Wow. That was brought to you by Coca-Cola. We are not in any way sponsored or affiliated. However, we would like to be. So please contact us, Coca-Cola, if you want to get involved with all this, because who wouldn't? Um, but yeah, we are hot in the midst of a Ryder Cup and par 71, little outside of Rome. It's a stadium style course. Regularly hosts the World Tour's Italian Open. So this is a known course for a lot of European players. So it's not something that's going to be like completely foreign. Get it? See what I did there? And the European team ain't no fucking joke. All right.
Hell
You
no.
got plenty of people. You got McElroy, Rahm, McIntyre, Hovland, Fitzpatrick, Fleetwood, Straka, Lowry, Justin Rose. You got a lot of
Dude, that's a
dudes.
lot of people.
That's a lot of people, man. That's a lot of serious people. So, not a team to be fucked with.
No,
However,
not at all.
America's also surrounding itself with some drama here, right? We had the drama between the picks. Justin Thomas, does he still have his game? Where did it go? And why did, the captain, Zach Johnson, what was his thought on the selections? And the surrounding, talk with everything. That being said, I think we can all agree as Americans, Justin
America.
Thomas and Jordan Spieth together is an ultimate pairing for the Screaming Eagle. So I would say that that's the best way I'd want it facing off against Europe's best, which arguably they're going to throw potentially like a Rory Shane Lowry combo at it, I would assume. But we'll see. I just think that you got to start off strong,
Yep.
put your American
Spread
foot out
eagle.
there. Yeah, and let JT do the talking with his game because everybody's been talking this ish. And I think it's fueled him up a little bit to be like, you know what, everybody's talking shit. I got to
Yeah.
come out swinging. And he knows he has to come out swinging. So,
Hey, he was in contention just a couple weeks ago.
yep.
So I mean, yeah, he could be turning it on. Obviously, I mean, it's not something you turn on and off. I'm sure if it was, he would have played a lot better this season. Wouldn't even be an issue right now.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, his record in these types of events is really fucking good. Like you said, he and Speed together. I mean, they're damn near unbeatable, or at least they've been that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, I mean, Zach Johnson, if JT and the rest of those captain picks come out and stink it up, um,
They're going to
he's
have
gonna
some
have to eat his
explaining to
words.
do. It's exactly it's exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna have some explaining to do.
Lucy, I'm
Lucy.
home.
It's exactly what's gonna happen. And talking about other matchups too, not just that one. I mean, there could be a potential. They're talking about like maybe a Colin Morikawa, Max Homa versus John Rahm and Hatton. That might be a, a serious combo there because you got the fiery presence of Hatton and Homa, who are like these two ultra competitive guys, and then you got John Rahm and Colin, who are kind of more mellow, but they play great game. So it's like they'll let their games do the talking, whereas the other two will be more vocal and amped up. And you know, Max Homa, he's a big component of America, and he's really the representative of American golf these days, or at least the new wave of American golfers. So I think that could be a potential matchup that would be very good. And then a more, how do you feel about that? Yeah, that's more of a
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I like the Homa play there. Just for the reason you said, honestly, I think he's like got that young energy. He's straight up fucking America.
right.
Uh, and he's like, I will wear cut denim shorts and I'll wear them today and I'm gonna light it up with 61. So,
Exactly. So
yeah, I know I love him. I think the U.S. roster is interesting. I think you got a lot of top tier talent. I think you got some guys that haven't played so well, but they are great locker room guys, great team energy guys. So I expect them to be fiery, but it's going to be interesting because, like you alluded to, man, this European team, they ain't no joke.
no, and you have technical matchups too, like the more technical guys, like let's say, a Ludwig and a Victor, versus like a Cantlay or a Shoffley, something that's more technical versus technical where you're going to see a lot of big battles. And then you have straight powerhouses like a Tommy Fleetwood who's been golfing out of this world this year, Justin Rose who's a designated veteran, knows this course, knows what's going on with the Ryder Cup, has been a Ryder Cup advocate forever. And then you have Scotty and a Sam Burns, those two powerhouses for America. Those are like true aggressive, great golfers. That's going to be interesting for those kinds of matchups. And then
Yeah.
the sleeper of the tournament, Wyndham Clark. I think he's going to be our sleeper. He's going to be a difference maker. Mark my words here. He's gonna come up with a big putt at some point to win it for the U.S. or something like that. Wyndham Clark, he's going to be a sleeper. I bet you.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, man, you could be right. I like Wyndham a lot, dude. You talked about Scotty Scheffler. It's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see like the type of pairings he's with, who he's playing alongside, because in events like this, and especially when you're playing team events where you're doing, um, basically best shot, right? You got to make putts, and that's been the huge hindrance for him. So it'll be interesting if he gets paired up with like a great putter, where it's
Wyndham.
he's just out there dialed in with irons, and then you got whoever he's playing alongside, there to make those putts. Um, that's one thing I look at the European team, and that's what scares me, man. They got
True.
a lot of great putters on that side.
I mean, you got to think too. That's why Sam Burns might be a nice pairing. His Texas Wedge game is flawless. I think at a course like a stadium course where there's going to be a lot of action off the greens. I think maybe I think that's a call there. A Scotty Sam Burns. We'll see these matchups and how they play out. But like you said, there's so many different combinations, and the European team. I think this is one of the best they've ever assembled. So I think
It's
in
really
terms of
fucking good.
talent, yeah, in terms of talent, this is going to be something to really watch. And I think that's kind of why they've amped it up this way and they've selected it this way because and I say that like the greater golf gods because I think with the live thing and the splinter and all this stuff going on with the PGA all year, I think this is their one moment to all redeem themselves and say, "Hey, we can kumbaya, make a really big worldly type event and get everybody enthused. Europe's going to be going crazy, US is going crazy, rest of the world's
Yep.
going crazy. I think we can get everybody, the live golfers are excited cuz Kepka's in it, It's like all these different components coming together into one tournament. So I think that's going to be important as we kind of chip away through the weekend. I feel.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Dude, I'm stoked for it, man. It's so exciting. It's such a different feel, different atmosphere than every other tournament. I mean, you get the President's Cup too, but there's something about the Ryder Cup. There really is. The chanting, it's insane, and the heckling is crazy too. Remember back, man, I think it was either yeah, it might have been two Ryder Cups ago, but you had the whole Patrick Reed, incident
Yep.
earlier in the year. So you had so much heckling going every time he was stepping up to hit his shot. They're all just, on the backswing going, oh. Man, it's a different atmosphere. It's so exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
And we know guys are going to be playing tough, like John Rahm, who's had a presence here. I mean, John Rahm, remember when him and Sergio dominated
Hmm.
in that Ryder Cup, and then 2 years prior, John Rahm beating Tiger out in that Ryder Cup in I think it was 2019. Like there was a lot of moments that John Rahm has had in the Ryder Cup, and I think him going up against uh, this set of guys and this talent on the U.S. side he's going to be coming firing. I don't think John
Oh,
Rahm's going to
for
be coming
sure.
in messing around. He's going to be coming. He's going to be their anchor, along with Rory, or hopefully along with Rory and Tommy Fleetwood. I think to really bring it home. And Matt Fitzpatrick, such a technical golfer, he'll have this course read from front to back. Every fucking hole will have a diary about it.
Yeah.
We know he's going to come in with the very specific techniques. So whoever they play Fitzpatrick with, that's not going to be an easy matchup. So we have to be careful with what the situation is surrounding Matt Fitzpatrick. He's going to be a force. So
Dude, you
we have
haven't
to
even
watch out.
mentioned Javi, dude. Victor
Yeah.
Hovland, man.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier like technical versus technical, but yeah, he's just going to light it up. His iron game is unmatched basically, and he's probably the hottest player on tour right now, you know.
100%. Yep. Dude, I'm looking forward to it. I already been in the spirit. I mean, I watched the Solheim Cup, so I was rooting on the U.S. women here this past weekend. Unfortunately, they ended up losing. Dude, it came down to Nelly Corda. She had an opportunity. All she had to do was have her match on Sunday, and yeah, she ended up falling.
Yeah. A lot of
It
talent
was
out
it
there.
was
A lot of
interesting
talent.
though, man. I mean, she was down three holes on the front nine. She battled back, had an opportunity to split, and then ended up losing. So it was exciting, but it
It's
got me
exciting to
got
see
me
her
geared
come
up.
back, man. This year she's been lighting it up this year
Yep,
comparably to what her injury was and all that scare she had. And I think coming back
for
from
sure.
that, there's a big push. I mean, it's like next year we're even going to see a more aggressive, and then the next year after
Right,
that
right,
more
right.
aggressive. Like she's nowhere near her peak. I mean, she's just started her like
Yeah,
blast off of career.
yeah. No, I agree with that. Um, yeah, it was exciting, but the thing that I noticed, and I already mentioned it, it's going to be a major key this week. Every time it seemed like the camera crew switched to another hole to watch another match, it was a European team knocking down a long ass putt. So it was literally the team that won was making putts, the team that didn't wasn't making putts. And I think that's going to be the same thing this week.
So Brendan's final note on the Ryder Cup here to take us out is make your putts.
Make your putts, please,
Make
USA.
your putts,
Come on,
USA. Make your
come on, America.
putts. Texas Wedge 'em like real Americans if you have to. Sam Burns won it this year on a Texas Wedge. He gonna bring it back tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And the
Yes,
next
sir.
day, and the next day throughout the weekend. Yeah, that was a good accent. I've been working on my
Loved it.
American accent.
Loved it.
Brandon, another week of Good Lives Golf here, Ryder Cup special edition episode. We will see you next week for the recap of the Ryder Cup and potentially some other aspects.
You got America? You got America?
I got America. And I threw some DraftKings lineups in there too. Just throwing it out there. Threw some DraftKings in there. Little $2, $3 lineups just for the boys.
Just
you know,
for
make
kicks,
it fun.
man.
Just captaining it up, you know, making it happen. But
For the cool kids.
that's it. So hey, man, we'll see you another time on Good Lives
hey.
Golf. Hey,
All right, bro. Reese's Pieces.
hey, man, peace out.
Girl Scout.